Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Sky Deep, multimedia artist, musician, audio engineer, and music university lecturer here in Berlin. And I'm here to talk a little bit about why on earth would anybody need 3 digital audio workstations in order to handle their audio work. I used to think I needed only one until I'm going to tell you all about it in this video. And you're going to find out why maybe you might decide someday to use more than one DAW. Ready, set, let's go. Like I said, we're going to talk about all the different reasons that you might want to use more than one digital audio workstation. I'm not sure what you're using, but what I'm currently using right now is Ableton Live, Logic, and ProTools. But ProTools, I have an interesting relationship to ProTools. When I first studied audio engineering back in 2001, ProTools is what I started with. And when I was working in music studios before that time even, I was using programs such as Digital Performer, back when it was Digital Performer 3. And I didn't really know much about them. I just wanted to get the job done. And at that time, it was just known that in studios, ProTools was the standard. And when I went to audio school, that was our focus in training. We weren't trained on anything other than that, and maybe some analog recording techniques. Well, I did ProTools for a long time, but it required, back in those days, hardware that was very specific to Avid and DigiDesign and the Pro Tools line. And so it became very expensive to do that at home. And this is when I started to look at other programs, such as Logic. So back sometime in the 2000s, I'm not sure exactly which year, maybe it was like 2005, 2006, that I switched over to Logic Pro, because I didn't require any very specific hardware just to be able to use the program. And I got really used to it, and it was really great for songwriting, and I really loved their instruments and some of their stock plugins at that time. But then eventually, it came time, just a different time in my life, where I started to really want to play out more, like play live shows and live sets. And it's when I got more interest in DJing that I learned about Ableton Live. And at that time, I wasn't in a position to own my own decks for DJing. So I was doing the digital thing. And a friend of mine showed me how to do it with Ableton. And I got really into it because as a songwriter and performer, Ableton was winning for me at that time. And there was a bit of a learning curve switching from one DAW to the next. But I got into it, and now I'm just like, it's pretty much Ableton all the way, even though I have Logic on my computer. That's just a little bit of the history of where I come from with the DAWs. And what I want to do in this video is I want to show you how the difference is with some of them, just from opening the program up, and then talk about why you might want to use one over the other. I'll get into it a little bit more. Follow me. All right, so here, I just want us to just take a look briefly at the sort of bare state of each DAW. Right now, we're looking at Ableton Live on the arrangement view. And this is called the session view. Again, some of you may already know a lot about some of these programs, but the special thing about Ableton Live is definitely the session view. You can add audio clips here. I really enjoy the workflow in the way that I'm able to pull clips and things over from the user library, which is here. So like, for example, there was a song that I turned into some stems, and I was able to save all of those stems into a special sort of live performance set of clips. It's not populating right now because I just switched hard drives, but as you just saw, I was able to drag all this in, and you can kind of see the ghost of them here in the way that this is set up. And when I move the push highlight over with the Ableton controller, Ableton push, then I'm able to sort of really go through, and if these audio tracks were actually on my hard drive, you would see different colors, but right now you just see the ghost of them. You see I have my drums, a snare, a bass, a synth, and an effects track. What's beautiful about that is I can do a live performance with this, and I can send my voice through there or my guitar through there, and it will work. Now I'm going to get out of that. I'm going to do Apple Z. Get out of there, right? But that's what I can do with this. You see the colors there. I just want to show you the ghost colors so you know that I'm talking the truth. All right. But what I love about Ableton is that, boom, it just populates and it's ready to go. You can already load in your MIDI track or your instruments or whatever, and that's without having a template. Once you get into making templates, you can do a lot more. Let's look at Logic really quick. So this is the beginning state of Logic. And at the in its most simplest kind of form, you're going to get your one audio track. Of course, it lets you choose how many audio tracks or MIDI tracks you want to start with. In this case, I just chose the one because you actually can't open up a blank session without choosing something. They want you to get started. Now, what you see up here at the top, I'm going to stop using my mouse just because it's making noise right now, and I don't want to pick that up too much. This is my setup. The reason I started using Logic is because I started to make music for film and doing sound design and mixing films. And in Ableton Live, I wasn't able to really follow time code so properly. So Logic was my answer for that. And then again, I just really love visually working in Logic when it comes to working with films because of the film windows that it provides for you. So that's just another reason why I use it, but there's so many other good things about it. For instance, right now, you can work with making Dolby Atmos spatial mixes right inside natively in Logic. It's an amazing thing. It's really cool. But there were some limitations there too, where I found recently in working with more and more filmmakers, I needed to be able to transfer my audio work or my sound design work over to a final mixer of a film, and they needed certain file formats, or they wanted to send me a certain file format, and I was having a bit of trouble. It was a bit clunky getting it into Logic and getting it out of Logic into someone else's system. This led me to say, I think finally it's time for me to revisit Pro Tools, which I remember loving quite much, but I actually completely forgot for a while there how to use the program. So let's take a look at that. Let's see, where is it? There it is. So when I open Pro Tools, you see how this screen right here is pretty blank. That's just the mix screen. And this would be the sort of arrangement view, if you will, where you would see the waveforms. Now, I'm showing you this sort of blank picture just to say, Pro Tools is like the Wild West. It's the open world. There is so many different options that it blows my mind. It makes my eyes bleed, but I love it because I can do anything I want in this program. But you really have to study. So I'm studying again, refreshing myself, and I do have some templates that I'm working with, but I just wanted to show you sort of the bare state of each program. Now, if I wanted to make a track inside of Pro Tools, I can just hit a shortcut and I can make a track, right? Right, just to show you it's easy. All right, yeah, so that's pretty much it as far as the interfaces go. I am using 3 different DAWs, all for very different reasons. Right now, the biggest reason is because I offer mixing services. And you can check out more about that if you might need some mixing or mastering done by going to my website, 3deepsound.com. Other than that, I am mostly curious about what you're up to. Which DAWs are you using and why? Do you have a favorite? Leave me a comment down below. Other than that, I'll see you on the next